everyone, I decided today during our quarantine that I would share with you how to curl hair with a Marcel curling iron. I know everyone has their preferences. We will go through a couple different tutorials with different tools over the next little bit. Today we're going to start with the Marcel. So Marcel essentially is the same as your regular curling iron, except the handle part here turns and the top turns. It's much better for your wrists, which is why hairdressers tend to use them more. However, if you have a standard curling iron at home, it's going to work the exact same. Today I'm using a 1-inch just so you can kind of gather what these curls look like. You can use a bigger one. You'll just find that you'll get more of a loose wave. If you use a tighter one, you're going to get more texture. You're going to have a lot more bounce and volume in there. However, your curls are going to shrink up a lot. So I usually go with a 1-inch just because it's a good standard to create a loose, soft curl. So today all you need is a curling iron, a hairbrush, of course, make sure it's all brushed out first, and one clip. So for myself, when I do my sectioning, I like to take it right from behind my ear on both sides, slice it right back, and section that all up. So if you were to look at the back of my head, you're gonna see that I have, it's not perfect, but we're gonna have a section, a pretty big section going down. You can take smaller sections, but you're gonna get a tighter curl, which isn't really in style right now. So we're gonna just stick with the loose curls. So I'm gonna take my section, brush through it, and I'm going to divide this half of my head in half. So we're going to take our first piece and we're going to curl it all back away from our face. So we're going to clamp it, twist it up, slide it down, twist it back up, give it a few seconds, and then here we go. Cute little curl. So I'm going to show you this side of my head where we leave what these are called fishtails. Fishtails, you're always told never to leave in hair. However, now we like to do it because it adds more of a beachy texture style to hair. So I'll show you this side with it and the other side without it so you can kind of compare what the difference is. The difference when you're curling is that for this style, you are not going to curl all the way to the end, where if you want more of like a soft curl instead of a textured beachy look, then you'll want the curl all the way to the end. So we're going to continue on this side. We're going to take our section, clamp, twist it up, slide down. We're leaving a little tail right here. Perfect. So for now, we're just going to leave that. We're not going to play with it at all. The more you play with it, the looser it will get, which is okay, but we want to really see that texture in there, so we're going to leave it today. Now this half of my head, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to section the back. I'm going to start here. We're going to clamp it, twist it up, slide it down, and we're going to try and get all this little tail in there. Now because I did just try to curl it, I am going to hold it for a little bit longer, otherwise it's not going to listen to me. Now when I am curling, I am trying to make sure that I get it all the way up to the root without burning myself. You can keep it a little bit lower, but you're going to just find that the curls are going to start a lot lower in your hair. So we'll push that all back. We'll move to our next section. The next section I always like to take right from my temples. So I'm going to just slide that right back. Perfect. And then on the back of my head, I'm actually going to take my whole hair separate it in half, pull it forward. So you should be easily able to find those pieces that you curled. They should stick together pretty easily. I'm going to take a pretty big section in the back here. So my section is approximately this big, so we're looking at about like 2 inches wide. I'm gonna clamp my iron, twist it up, let it sit for a minute. Then slowly bring it down, still leaving that little tail out, and bring it right back up. So this section, right, again, you can see width-wise, it is fairly big. It is still equally as big, going width-wise. Once again, the reason I am taking big sections is so that I can have a looser, more textured look. Now this section is from right behind my ear forward. We're going to take it all in one. Roll to the root, give it a second, bring it down, but enough to leave that little tail. Okay, now we'll move this clip so you can see a bit better on this side. So we have all the hair forward here. So we'll move these curls out of the way. We'll grab the rest. We're going to take equally as big sections on this side. Sorry, you guys can kind of see my cat in the back. Now, as you guys can see, the way that I'm curling with this is I'm literally twisting the iron right up my hair. So I'm not actually doing much movement with my wrist. It's just me twisting my fingers. That's why ergonomically these curling irons are a lot better for you. Using your standard curling iron, wand, things like that, it is a lot of strain that you're using on your wrists, which is okay if you're only doing it once in a while, but at the end of the day, you can curl your hair pretty quick with one of these and it's not going to cause any arthritis or anything. Perfect. You can kind of start to see how these curls are forming. This side is very tight, very like straight on the ends, kind of messy looking. This side is very smoothed out, very loose and big and voluminous. So as we keep going, you'll see that happen more, especially once we get to the top and eventually brush it out. So at this point, I don't really section anymore. I'm going to take straight down the back the best that I can. Pull these forward. We'll work on the side first again. So just for ease, I always work right in the back and work my way forward, because once the back's done with, it's kind of easier to see what hasn't been curled already. So we'll take this piece, put our iron on, twist it up, give it a second, bring it down. We're going to leave a little bit of that tip out, bring it back up. so we're right on to our last section here. So we'll clamp. This one you really want to make sure is a little bit looser than the rest of them because it is such baby fine hair. If you over curl it, it will really shrink up on you. Now everyone parts their hair different. Obviously I part pretty far off on the side. If you are somebody who parts in the middle, that's totally fine. Leave your part wherever you would usually wear it and do the same sectioning. And when you bring it down, just make sure that you're curling your hair where the section is. If you start flipping afterwards, it squirrels look all mix and match, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. It will create more volume. The curls will sit on each other, so your hair will look a lot bigger, which is okay if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for just a more softer, romantic kind of style, then you're going to want to make sure that all your curls are going the same way. I prefer them going away from my face just so that I don't have to deal with it. Now, because I do part so far over, I do have a lot of hair on this side. So this is my last section. So I'm going to take right in the middle. Once again, we're going to start from the back. On this side, we're curling all the way to the end. So I'll show you guys again. We're going to clamp. Make sure we get those ends in as good as we can. Bring it all the way up. Whatever little bit you can't fit is okay as long as it's only a little bit. If you're leaving a lot, then you're going to get a tail like you do on this side. Now when you're using a wand, you can do the exact same method to achieve the same type of curls. I personally don't prefer using the wand just because A, the risk of burning yourself, and B, I feel like I can get my curls a lot faster with an iron. I can also create a lot of different textures and patterns in the hair with a curling iron compared to a wand. They are great irons and I used to use them all the time. It's just that I feel you're always going to get a looser curl compared to a more textured look, which I prefer. But obviously we all have our preferences. That's why there's so many out there. We'll let this last section down. Start at the back. Make sure it's brushed through. Okay, so now that we're done this side has already cooled, so we're actually going to start over here. So what I usually do is I'll take my hand and start running it through just to break everything up. And to do a little shameless plug, I am going to use my favorite spray from Redken. This one's called Windblown. This one, since it came out probably about a year ago, has been my favorite because it is just a texture spray, so it doesn't add any grittiness or anything to it. It just helps to make your hair look bigger and really separate those pieces. So I just spray it right up into those ends. Right in the root, and you can really see how it just kind of widens everything, makes it bigger, but you're still getting that texture and that looseness in it. Perfect. And now this side has had time. We're going to run our hands through it, do the exact same thing. So you can definitely tell the difference between the two. It's weird how just leaving out those ends can make such a difference, but you really notice this side looks a lot more smooth, a lot less volume in it, but you still get a lot of that texture. It's definitely more of your beachy type of style, where this side is just more of your loose curls, something you would maybe more prefer to do if you're going out for the night. Still messy, you're not looking to go too soft or too smooth, but it's still just less textured than how this side looks with those ends being curled. Okay, perfect. So that is how you guys would curl with your Marcel or curling iron. You'll probably see some other tutorials later this week, probably on how to curl your hair with a flat iron, because I know a lot of people do struggle with that. You can always leave a comment on any tutorials that you're looking for, and I would be more than happy to help you guys out with that. If you have any questions, any comments, leave a message down below or DM me. It was nice seeing all of you guys, and I hope you stay safe during the quarantine. Bye!